So, I've been thinking about buying the iPhone 11 for a while, and I was literally about to take the plunge when Apple suddenly dropped the new iPhone SE. Took everyone by surprise, including myself, and this sort of led me into this rabbit hole. Should I buy the SE or should I buy the 11? Long story short, I bought the SE. It's gonna get delivered very soon, and once I get my hands on it, I'm gonna make an unboxing video, give you my first impressions. So if you don't want to miss that video from this channel, hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell. Now, I've got a few reasons why I decided to go for the SE instead of the 11 or the 10R, but probably the biggest reason among them is its price point. It's $399, and that's a very compelling price, but it's not just that. There's actually this entire thought process that I want to share with you about how I decided to drop the cash for the iPhone SE in spite of it not having all of the latest features that the 11 or the 11 Pro has. First, let's talk about what the iPhone SE lacks and why it doesn't bother me. Number one, numero uno, it doesn't have a modern looking full screen display. In fact, one of my concerns was that I'll be using what looks like, for all intents and purposes, an iPhone 8. Now that model was launched in 2017, and like the iPhone 8, the SE also has a humongous forehead and chin design, and it's looking very dated right now at a time when most phone manufacturers are talking about a bezel-less design, with full screen to body ratios. And that home button just makes it look even more dated because right now, most flagship and mid-range phones, they have got their fingerprint sensors at the back of the phone, at the side on the bezel, or inside the screen, right? Like the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. 4.7 inches is also a pretty small screen compared to most mid-range and flagship phones right now. For example, the Google Pixel 3a from 2018 has a screen size of 5.6 inches. And a bigger screen could be useful because when you're watching a video, for example, it allows you to expand the picture to fill up the entire length and breadth of the screen, giving you a more cinematic, immersive experience. Personally, I do use phones with impressive screen-to-body ratios, and on those phones, I occasionally like to expand the picture so that it fills up the entire screen and it's very cinematic, very nice. But there's a small problem. You see, when I watch my videos, it's usually in a 16:9 aspect ratio. And whenever I expand the picture, there'll always be some cropping in, as in some of the top and bottom part of the picture will always get cut out of the screen, right? And I don't really like that because I prefer being able to see the full picture. Probably the real benefit of being able to expand your screen is for gaming, because gamers always prefer to see bigger text and more detail on their screen, right? But personally, I don't game that much on my phone, so that got me, that and everything I've said before got me questioning the value of prioritizing screen to body ratio over a straight up 16:9 screen design. Number two, the iPhone SE does not have Face ID, a feature which comes as standard on all iPhones right now. Most Android flagship smartphones also have some sort of face unlock, but this isn't a really big deal to me because personally I'm used to using Touch ID. To me, Touch ID is fast and responsive enough anyway, and I don't have to tilt the phone up to my face to unlock it. So at least for me, no Face ID, no problems. Number three, this thing about the SE not having the multiple camera elements that come as standard on the more expensive iPhones also came up. The iPhone 11 has two lens elements at the back, one for wide angle and one for ultra wide. The iPhone 11 Pro has three, including a telephoto lens element. So from these phones, you're gonna get a lot more versatility with your photography or videography than the iPhone SE, which only has one ultra-wide lens element at the back. But from Apple's website, it's pretty safe to assume that after software processing and all that, pictures and the videos shot on the iPhone SE will look quite similar in terms of quality to that shot on the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro. only that you don't get that versatility of an ultra wide angle and a telephoto zoom. And I'll admit, it's pretty nice to have that versatility, to have something in your pocket that's ready for multiple situations. But right now, we're all staying at home, and being cooped up at home made me think really hard about this one, as in, will I be needing all that versatility right now and during this period? Do I really need ultra wide angle telephoto zoom in my living room, or will I be paying for something that ends up getting underutilized? I mean, if I really needed to take great pictures, great video, I've still got my Sony mirrorless camera gear, which, by the way, is what I've been using this entire time for my pictures, for my videos. So while it's great having all that versatility in your pocket, it doesn't really make sense for me to pay more for something that I don't really need right now. And really, above all that, it all comes down to its price point. I mean, $399. That doesn't feel too expensive at all, considering that you still be getting the latest A13 Bionic processor. So in terms of processing speed and power, it's not going to be inferior to the iPhone 11 or the 11 Pro. Besides, I'm still going to be able to enjoy all the latest software updates for the next 5 to 6 years, which is going to help its resale value in case I decide to get something newer or better. What I'm saying is that while the iPhone SE may not feel like 2020, it feels like something that came out from 2017, it's still good enough for my needs for the foreseeable future, which is why I bought the iPhone SE. So tell me what you think in the comments section. Are you getting the iPhone SE? And do you think I made the right choice here? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to see that unboxing and first impressions video when it comes up, please subscribe and ring the notifications bell, because this is the only way YouTube will notify you of new content from this channel. And that video, my friends, is coming very, very soon, so stay tuned. Once again, my name is Aaron. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please punch that like button with a vengeance, Bruce Lee style, and sharing this video with your friends and family. And I'll see you again, bros and sisters, in the next one. Why am I doing this? If you're a humble person like me, this shirt is a great way to show your friends how humble you really are. And whenever you look in the mirror, to admire yourself of course, it will also help to remind you to always be humble. So guys, this is a pretty fun shirt to wear. You can check it out in the link below. It's available in t-shirt, tank top, and hoodie. Your purchase helps keep this channel going, and I appreciate your support, bros.